Welcome, race fans. It's us back here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting once again with the 802 Cup Series. As we're back here for a Talladega race here tonight, as we got our grid going straight into it, rolling into it as we're here at Talladega with Nick Larson starting out front. It's going to be his, it looks like, first time out here on the pole position there with the 53.81. It's going to be Kerry Shaver there in second. Third's going to go to Rob Lowell. Fourth's going to be Johnny Barker. Fifth's going to go to Jeff Barefoot. Sixth is Gene Cato. Seventh is Christopher Norris. Eighth's going to go to Wayne Dewey. Ninth's going to be Art Greco. 10th's going to go to Tyler Dingler. 11th's going to be Sam Dyer. 12th's going to go to Jacob Mazak. And 13th's going to round out our field here tonight for 85 laps here at the Talladega Super Speedway. But again, thanks again once for you all tuning in here at the 802 Cup Series and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Zach Hall, and joined alongside me tonight, I'll have Brian Johnson and Robert Moyer Jr., our producer. We're in all the pictures here and the sights and sounds from the Talladega Super Speedway. But Brian back here after a week off, but we got some Super Speedway action here to kick off this race.
We sure do. And, Talladega a bit longer than the other super speedway counterpart at Daytona. Daytona being 2.5 miles. Talladega just a little bit longer at 2.66 miles. And then, of course, the other big difference between Daytona and Talladega is at Talladega, we have that start-finish line moved past the exit of pit road coming out of the tri-oval rather than in the middle of it. So that does have a tendency to shake up the finishes here. And other than that, this next gen car, we've seen a little bit of super speedway action in this car, and this car tends to race pretty good here. You can generate some runs, and you can push this car fairly well. But just like any other car at a super speedway, definitely want to hit the guy in front of you pretty square. So definitely still have the opportunity to have some bad pushes and have a few wrecks due to that. But I'm looking forward to a pretty interesting race here.
Same here, Brian. Same here, man. And I tell you, we just seen just last night, Saturday, on the World Series of Sim Racing there on Freaky Fast Broadcasting Daytona action, and I can tell you much that these cars are very much a handful to push each other with. That's what a lot of drivers were talking about coming away from that race. Very hard to make things happen because they were scared they were going to wreck each other. So it definitely can get a little bit hairy. I tell you what, tonight though, the risks I think are going to be big. No fast repair limit here tonight, so these guys have unlimited fast repairs, and that's to me means they are going to really be probably sending it here with these guys here tonight. So Brian, we got to look for carnage and look for them to do it here early as the pace car pulls in. What do you think is going to be the key here to getting out front early?
I think you just got to take whatever opportunities are presented to you. Any chance you can get up to the front without losing the draft, you're going to want to take it.
We'll have to see how it all plays out here tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway here at the 802 Cup Series on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Green flag is out in the air, and we're off and away as Nick Larson is going to lead us to that green flag there with Kerry Shaver on the outside line as the field stacks up heading into one. Right now, Larson going to have control of that lead out front with Shaver dropping back on the outside line with Lowell trying to take control second here as quickly that outside line looks to fall back. And I tell you, we got two cars in the very, very back, two dropping farther back. I believe that's Tyler Dingler and Eric Kundal. So he's a good ways back there from this pack.
Yeah, Kerry Shaver there definitely did not have a good restart. I mean, it almost looked like he started in the wrong gear as slow as he was going. But Rob Lowell looking to make something happen. Got a run on the inside, took it out to the outside, and he's may lead this first lap here, and he's taking that 99 of Jeff Barefoot with him.
Jeff Barefoot here trying to give that push that he needs to get the 21 clear and get themselves out front. Also got the 18 Kerry Shaver who's trying to make the rebound there. That's like we said from restarting second there on the outside. And first lap is complete of the night. And it was Rob Lowell leading the way there as he's got the rest of the field looking to make runs here. And it's going to be interesting to see which lines form and which lines do not. Right now, a lot of movement throughout this front pack.
Oh, and right there at 83, Christopher Norris, he decided not to push the 82 of Nick Larson right there, and he just took it 3 wide, going to take that position for himself. So right now, that outside lane a little bit more organized than the inside lane, and that outside lane just having a little bit more momentum coming out of it.
lot of momentum, like you said, they're built up from that outer groove, and that's what they're using there to pull themselves up. And another car there in the 69 machine, that's Tyler Dingler. He had to get the EOL start at the rear of the field there for himself. So he's looking to move himself up. He's also going to have the 42 of Sam Dyer jump up to the top line. As now we'll have a little bit of different row action here happening. Gene Cato might get stuck in the middle there with the 69 taking it up top.
Yeah, and you can see, just half a lap before, the outside lane was the one that was organized, inside lane losing momentum, but now we only have one lane going on right now, and that's the inside lane. And so that just kind of shows you just how quickly things can change at a super speedway race. It does not take long for the momentum to shift, for the field to change, the cars to shuffle. And, having all these drivers having to readjust what their game plan is going into the next lap.
Be fun to see how this all shakes out. As we also have a 60% fuel load here tonight, so it'll be interesting with the strategy to see how these drivers plan out their pit stops and where they want to do it. But right now, some runs coming from farther behind at 69, trying to generate something, help maybe get the 83 Norris up there, get himself a run. But they jump to the outside there in the 69 machine, 3 wide. They're wrecking in the back there, but we stay green here. A couple cars involved in that, I believe, as it's going to be Eric Kundo on the inside lane stuck, and also Kerry Shaver and Sam Dyer in the 42 wrecking, which that's going to bring out the yellow.
Yeah, I think that that happened. That was some leftovers from that first incident. So that carry coming out of 2 and made a little bit of contact, and the 42 of Sam Dyer goes around.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting incident, and it all kind of started back there where Kerry Shaver got into Sam Dyer. Sam Dyer got down into the car below him. From there, that car got a lot of damage. That was Eric in the 33, and then Sam Dyer trying to save that machine, just cannot do it. Crosses back across the pass to Kerry Shaver. Luckily for Shaver, he gets by. But Sam Dyer right here, a hard driver side hit, and look at that, knocking the whole front end off there. That is a lot of damage, and he's going to have to need a fast repair here to get that car back going.
Yeah, and the good news for him is that there is no limit on fast repairs here tonight. Usually we'd have 3 here on Sunday nights, but and even that could be considered quite a really nice handful there at 3. But tonight got unlimited, so really you can make whatever moves you want as long as you don't have to tow and lose a lap because of having to tow back to pit road. You can pretty much do anything you want.
Yeah, that was very, very unfortunate too, because Sam Dyer did have to tow there with that damage change for the 33. So both those guys on the pit road, but Christopher Norris assumes the lead there in the 83s through all of that somehow. So great job from him there to get himself out front in his very first race and get some laps led. There's Greco is going to be in the second position. Third is going to be Rob Lowell. Fourth going to go to Barefoot with Tyler Dingler rounding out that top 5. And we're going to have drivers here looking to pit road. And not surprised by this, Brian, 60% fuel load. I would think you want to be topping this car off as many times as possible to change any type of strategy available or options for yourself for later in this race.
Yeah, I think this is a really smart call early in the race. And, we also have a small field here of 13 cars, and 2 just had to tow to pit road. So, pitting here at worst, you're going to restart 11th. So, that's definitely doable as far as trying to get back up to the lead. It's just like Tyler Dingler during that little run that we had just then, he had a EOL to start the race, and, he had made his way up towards the front. So, and I think part of that is due to that little run that we had just in. It looked like everybody was scared to push each other. I mean, you had guys that were able to pass a couple cars by themselves with no draft help, no push help. So if that is the way that they're gonna race the entire time, kind of being a little bit scared to really push each other, try to generate some runs, performing some maneuvers by yourself is going to be pretty easy, which could make this interesting because we don't usually see that.
Yeah, definitely could make this very, very interesting for sure, man. And we'll see how it gets back going here as everybody's came back out from their pit stops and got everything cycled back through. As Greco going to lead the field as Norris came out in that second spot. So going to be good for him there to restart there as the pace car lights are still on. And this is a perfect time. Go ahead here early in the night to give us a shout out to some of our sponsors up here at Freaky Fast Broadcast. And the first one we'll give a sponsor to is we got this caution here is Admin Box. That's right, Admin Box. It's race control at your fingertips, and each Admin Box connects via USB. And each one has race control functionality, driver functionality, and pit options with LED backlighting that makes each button highly visible in any situation. So make sure you head on over to adminbox.com, and that's adminbox with two X's there, and use that discount code FFB/box with two X's there to get that discount, and you can have race control at your fingertips, folks. And tell you what, you can also pair that with an iRacing iFlag, man, one of the best out there. 64 LEDs virtual flag system that gives you all types of information on the track, not only the visual flag state of what's going on, as such as you can see up on our ticker up there is the caution flag up flickering in the our iris and I flag there at the top of our ticker. You can also have a spotter that tells you such as where certain drivers are located, and also not only that, but their digital pit board too. So make sure you head on over to iRacingIFlag.com and check out what they have in store for you, and use Freaky Fast 2022 as your promo code when you go to purchase, and you'll be able to get yourself a discount. So thank you to iRacing iFlag and also Admin Box for those being our great sponsors here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. What it looks like, Brian, we're going to get ready here as those pace car lights go out, and we're going to get double file back up. I'll tell you another thing that you know, to transition to, as you can kind of see from this shower here, it's almost a little bit foggy. It's a very interesting case when it comes to the weather here tonight, if we can get that pulled up for us.
Yeah, it almost kind of looks like a early morning in Pennsylvania or something, as foggy as it is. It's fog at Talladega, Alabama, in the middle of the afternoon. Not something you usually see, but yeah, we got weather is partly cloudy, 82 degrees for the air temp, and track temp at 107, so fairly tame track temp. Got winds to the south at 9 miles an hour, but that humidity at 96%. So these cars are almost boats out here right now with as much moisture as they're having to fight through.
That they are, right, having to break through not only the air but also the moisture inside the air. So that is definitely a interesting time there for sure, man. But to get this, but thanks to everybody out there in chat here tonight, as it's been a very very special night. As we got a great group out there tuning in to watch us here at the Talladega Super Speedway here for Freaky Fast Broadcasting. As we're going to get everything back lined up here, Brian. You're going to have Rob Lowe here on the outside groove. It looked like Christopher Norris came down and topped off. So a few guys coming down to top off here, Brian.
Yeah, which again, I don't think that's a bad decision at all. The more fuel you have in the car, the greater your options are later in the race. So, I think that's a very good decision.
Could be the decision that comes back to factor something later in this race. We'll have to see how it all works out. But right now, Art Greco going to lead us back to green here as we come to the restart area, where Greco's going to have control of this field and decide when he wants to go. It looks like he's already decided it's time to go. And as the field takes off, a couple guys back here for others right on board with Christopher Norris. A little bit spread out here. Hopefully we're going to get caught back up here. Don't want to lose that draft. That could be very vital to staying on this lead lap.
Oh yeah, you're definitely right, Zach. Kind of from the moment you lose the draft, you have to start thinking about, what is your strategy going to be to try to stay on the lead lap, from there on out, because once you lose the draft, you're so much slower. I mean, it doesn't take, but maybe 6, 7, 8 laps before you start seeing the leaders in your mirror. So definitely got to stay in the draft, and, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do anything with the runs you get, try to make your way up to the front, but if you can be that second to last car in line, that leaves you a little bit of a cushion to where you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, we'll see what Norris does right here as he's caught up to this group here, and we'll see what he tries to decide here, as we're still early in this race here, only on lap number 9 of 85 here. Already seen one caution so far. We'll see what these drivers are willing to risk, but once again, no limits on the fast repairs. So if you get damaged, it does not matter. Come down to pit road. You got a quick fix that'll completely fix your car to 100% condition, and you'll be back ready to go. But going down the back straightaway, still Greco leading. But that outer groove, they're trying to make something happy. It's got Barefoot leading it in the 99. But right now they're just dropping straight backwards there, along with Rob Lowell. Looks like possibly also the 69 Tyler Dingler in that group, and Gene Cato in the 8.
Yeah, going down the backstretch, Rob was being really aggressive with the bushes to Barefoot, and I say really aggressive. It looked aggressive considering how much Barefoot's car was wiggling around, but it didn't look like all that much of a hard hit, as a little bit of contact between the 69 and 31 in the back of the pack there. But these cars look very, very sensitive to pushing. Rob, was just pushing that 99 Jeff Barefoot just a little bit, but the car got really, really upset. So I think that's part of the reason why that outside lane has all but completely dissipated now. This guy's trying to make it come back a little bit with the 8 of Gene Cato coming up there, trying to drag the 99 and 21 of Lowell and Barefoot. But, when you try to start a line like that, especially on the outside, especially with 3 cars, it can take a little bit to form that line, gain some momentum. As you can see, they've gone back down to the bottom, and we're all but single file right now.
Yeah, a little bit single file now as everybody has gotten to this bottom lane. It's going to be about 10 cars in this front group. You also got the 31 of Mazak back there behind Tyler Dingler as they've caught him back up to the group as we hop on board with Barefoot there. As you can see, the 99 going down the back straightaway. Definitely a big run there coming from that 69 machine. He's going to jump to the outside and have a big run here setting it up.
Yeah, Dingler had a little bit of momentum, shot it to the outside, but almost immediately all of that momentum dissipated, went away, and is now having to fight side by side with Rob Lowell. We'll see who can get a bit of more of a run going. Looks like it's going to be Dingler. He's going to send it to the outside of 99 as 21 of Rob Lowell goes on the inside. They're going to be 3 wide just for a moment before Dingler decides to get back behind the 99 and generate another run.
Yeah, we'll see if that run can generate something to happen, but this group is starting to battle a lot here. They're losing that front 4. That front 4 really starting to break away all the way back to Nick Larson. You got Wayne Dewey in there also, and you got the 6 of Johnny Barker and the 88 Art Greco. It's stacking up there, 3 wide back there with Lowell in them and Norris and also Dingler. This is really hurting the chances here for that front group, this back group.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if Barefoot and Cato up there, if they can manage to catch that front group of 4 up there and distance themselves from Lowell and Dingler, this group of 4 back here of Lowell, Dingler, Norris, and Mazak, they've pretty much lost the draft of that front pack now. So, a little bit ago we were talking about as a single driver losing the draft of the pack and how detrimental that can be to your race, but also, pack within pack. You never want to lose the draft to that front pack, even if you do have some other guys you can draft with. It can be very difficult to try to push each other and get back up to the front. It can be kind of hard to coordinate that sometimes because, sometimes all guys want is the one position that's in front of them, and they don't think about the group of 4 guys that are running away up ahead of them.
Yeah, that's it's really hurting them now. Look, this group has fell much farther back. I mean, it's literally 2 seconds all the way back to Gene Cato, who's leading the group back in 5th. So that front 4 just staying organized like that right there. This back group was not able to do it, and they lost that draft as this group appears. Done a great job. Greco still holding on to the lead, but what do you have to remember about Art Greco? He did not pit there, Brian, so he's going to have less fuel in the tank of his car. He's probably going to have to start considering pit stops around lap 20 or so.
Yeah, I don't imagine with a 60% fuel load that he's going to have 10 laps left in his car. He's probably got less than 10 laps of fuel left. So, he is in a very sticky situation right now where he is up front, and he's got 3 guys around him. But, unless he can convince those 3 guys to come down and pit with him, he may be the only guy to come down pit road when he runs out of fuel. So he may have put himself in a box that he definitely does not want to be in, because if he pits all by himself, he's going to come out of pit road all by himself, and he's going to be racing all by himself and having no draft help. So he's going to be losing a lot of time. just based off of him not pitting and topping off the fuel earlier. That's how important topping off fuel can be sometimes.
Yeah, you never want to get into no man's land, and Greco might be in that situation here if he does exactly have to hit pit road. We'll see when that situation does come, because at the moment we are pretty single file at the moment with these drivers not really battling too hard. I could see us going green for a while, and that could really hurt this 88 machine, and it could hurt even this front group. That'll drop their numbers down to 3. That'll be interesting to see. Will they be able to make the same lap time like they did before? But they continuously, each and every lap, are pulling away 4 to 5 tenths from this group back here, led by Cato.
Then you got to remember these guys, this top 4, they have that, roughly 2-second lead just based off of not racing each other. All they did was stay in line. They didn't do anything special. They weren't pushing really hard. All they were doing was not racing each other. And, these guys in the second pack here from 5th on back, they got to racing each other and side drafting and not generating any momentum, and that's how they lost the draft to this front pack. They had that gap is there not because anybody did anything special. They were just deciding not to race.
Yeah, and that gap continues to grow. It was 2.6 seconds this time by 3.3, and it just continues to drop as Cato running very slow lap times right now, as Barefoot's just not able to seem to get to that bumper. It seems like he's having a tough time not being able to keep right behind him, and that is one thing, it takes sometimes a certain group of people to lead a pack for it to make time. And right now, Cato and the 99 have just not made that compatible touch that you need here at these plate tracks to be able to go forward and make time. And right now, they are definitely losing out.
Yeah, I think when it comes to a pack of cars trying to catch the group in front of them, the two most important guys are the front 2 cars. That lead guy, he's got to be really consistent with his line. And then that second guy has to be consistent with his pushes too. You can't give a huge shot, once a lap and then, push the lead car way out front and then having to catch back up to him. The best way is to just try to keep that push consistently behind him. But so that, the front 2 cars definitely the most important. You can see Rob Lowell trying to give Barefoot a shove, but the problem is that push is not being transferred into the 8 car of Cato up there. So as a whole, this whole group not really moving forward right now. So they may want to think about doing a little bit of a shuffle, maybe get Rob Lowell up front, or maybe get him in second place. But these guys got to figure out how to push each other if they want to close that gap, because now it's up almost to 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's just continuing to grow, and Lowell and Cato dropping behind this group here. So interesting circumstance from them, but I also can confirm we do have a competition caution at lap 25. So that makes me feel like Art Greco, he may be in a good situation to make it to that 25 point. But I will say he's going to need to save a little bit of fuel. I think that's why you see right here as we jump up to him in this 88 machine. I think you see him dropping back. That is due to the factor of I think he needs to save a little bit of fuel. He's going to try to drop in behind these guys and save some fuel here. So hopefully doesn't lose too much time there, because you could easily lose that draft. But yeah, trying to save the fuel there to get to that lap 25 competition caution.
Yeah, that lead car of any pack is always going to be burning the most amount of fuel. And I think the further back you are in the pack, the more fuel you're going to save. So good call by him, because I'm with you, Zach. I think he is maybe a lap and a half, 2 laps short, maybe of reaching to lap 25. Well, maybe not that much, maybe only about a lap. But I think running in 4th place here of this first group, that should be plenty to save him that amount of fuel if he can keep up with them. Ever since he moved back, it looked like for a second he was going to be able to keep up, but as of right now, it looks like he's losing the draft.
Yeah, I mean, you can see up ahead there from this view of Talladega 69 machine. You can see up there, you see the front 3 cars, but you see a car starting to linger farther back, and that is that 88 at Greco. He thought he was going to be able to drop behind him, get the draft, save some fuel possibly, but he just lost too much momentum as that last car, and now is losing speed. Look at this, we got Lowell in the 8 machine of there in that 21 of Rob Lowell and G. Cato trying to make something happen. Man, oh man, right here definitely is interesting to see with Greco losing that draft up front, and these guys still somewhat battling.
Yeah, and with that competition caution, it's not a huge deal if they can't catch back up to him, of course, because we're going to have that caution. But you still would like to try some stuff, do a little bit of experimentation and a little bit of practice to, try to um, perfect how to catch up to the other pack because it very may well happen later in the race. So you want to try to figure that out now while you do have the cushion of that competition caution. Because if you make a big mistake and lose the draft of the second pack, then you're still saved by that caution. So definitely still want to be trying to catch up to them and see what works and see what doesn't. But right now these guys just they're having a tough time with that.
Yeah, and Art just pulled high to let the second group there try to fall in line with him. And he lost too much time there. He's going to lose this group too. So going from the lead all the way back behind this group to 10th position is Art Greco. Just an unfortunate decision there from him. As, man, this group up in front of him is really starting to take off. They're gaining on the guys up ahead. And look at this, actually Greco having to hit pit road. And this is possibly where not having hit pit road earlier, the fuel is going to come back to bite him.
Yeah, I think he was much shorter than we both thought. Pitting 3 laps before the end of the stage, or the competition caution rather. So must have been very, very short. That 60% fuel load is really a killer. That puts you in a pretty tight box. With this race being 85 laps. We could see some interesting strategies here tonight, especially if, maybe 2 or 3 different groups of drivers are on different strategies.
Yeah, this group here kind of dissolving again. It looks like Barefoot in the 99. He's dropping back. Oh, had a big wiggle from him as he's going to slide back behind this group. Actually, he's coming to pit road. So the 99, I wonder, did he not fuel the car there under his first stop? Or is he trying something a little different here? We'll have to see. But right now, this group definitely trying to still catch up to that group ahead. It's being led by Christopher Norris now and Tyler Dingler as they got Rob Lowell and also the Ada Cato. And here they come with a head of steam behind. And this is going to be a gigantic run.
Yeah, well, that was going to be the last lap that Jeff Barefoot could have come down pit road before the competition caution. So it may be a case of he's going to pit for fuel and tires now, knowing that there's no way he's going to end up a lap down. And then when that caution comes out, when everybody else pits, he just stays out, and now he's got almost a full tank, fresh tires, and he'll be in the lead.
This group here is still battling as Norris in the 83 jumps out. Now the 69 Tyler Dingler, he's going to jump out with him. And they thought about sticking it into the inside their lane, but I was going to elect to go back high as this group here trying to run down the group ahead of them. I can say there is the competition caution. Looks like they did that there, the completion of lap 24 and the start of lap 25. So there it is, competition caution. Wayne Dewey leading, Nick Lawrenson in second. Our pole setter, third is going to be Tony Barker. Fourth is going to go to Norris, and fifth is going to round out that top 5 here. And our competition caution is they go to our competition caution here and hit some pace laps. We're going to go to our first commercial break of the night up here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a great start to the race here at the 802 Cup Series. We got a lot left to go. You're not going to want to miss out on any of that action. But all these drivers go about to head down to pit road, get their cars serviced, get some fuel, and see how it all plays out. Thank you all for tuning in to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And we're back here from commercial break, folks, here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting and the 802 Cup Series. Once again, like I said here, we were here tonight at the Talladega Super Speedway, but we're about to go back green flag racing after our first competition, or our only competition caution of the night and second caution of this evening after our first wreck earlier. But looks like we got Barker out front. Norris going to be in the second spot with Larson there in the third, but he may be lining up on the outside line to actually start second here. But Barker going to have control of the field. As my name is Zach Cole, joined alongside me tonight is Brian Johnson and Robert Moore Jr. running our production. As we're back green flag, Barker's going to take off, and man, that was an interesting start. Larson just stuck in the middle. He's going straight backwards, man. This is very, very interesting to see there. As you can see, the sucker hole.
Yeah, again, it looked like for some reason the first car of that outside lane just cannot get a good restart. Again, looked like he restarted in third gear or something, because both Rob Lowell and Cato of the 8 there just ran right around his outside right as soon as that green flag dropped. So, we'll keep an eye on that and see what the deal is with that. But right now, Rob Lowell, Cato, and now the 82 Larson on the outside lane. Also got the 11 of Wayne Dewey coming up to join them, as they're going to be looking to try to generate some momentum on the outside and try to take this lead away from Johnny Barker right now.
Yeah, we can't forget the 11 of Wayne Dewey was our winner earlier in the season at Daytona, so he could very well be the one to watch out here for later in this race at the Super Speedway. Is Lowell going to take the lead out front as he gets the good push from teammate Gene Cato as they drop to the bottom. Oh, Lowell going to try to get down in front of him. This is actually causing a little bit of stack up there. You got Norris. The bump goes to the 8, and now they're all wrecking as we're going to be under caution here for the third time tonight, and they're wrecking big back there coming off of 2.
And I tell you what, Dingler did a great job of, as soon as he saw something happen, getting right on the brakes, and he comes out of that thing unscathed.
Yeah, I don't know how that 69 machine made it through that wreck, Brian, but yeah, I think he described it well. He just slowed it down, and somehow everything around him happened, and he just let it go. But yeah, third caution of the night there, and a big one added is it's going to have multiple drivers involved. Johnny Barker there in the 6. You're also going to have the 83 of Christopher Norris there involved. You're going to have Gene Cato was involved in a little bit. He went around in it. The 82, the 18 of Kerry Shaver, Larson, like I said, and also Kundal in the 33 almost gotten a little bit of it. So more and more drivers just involved in that mix. And I think also Sam Dyer may even get the lucky dog here possibly from that.
Yeah, he did get the lucky dog on that competition caution, so he went from 2 to 1 laps down, and now as long as he was not involved in that wreck and has 0 X's, as long as he doesn't have any sort of incident points there, he should be the lucky dog on this caution, and he'll be back on the lead lap. Then that would leave the only other car a lap down, or 2 laps down, is going to be Mr. Eric there in the 33, and then 2 more cautions, he'll be on the lead lap, and then it'll be like the start of the race. Everybody on the lead lap.
Yeah, this is definitely shaping up to look that way, Brian, for sure. Is that wreck there is our second one of the night for an incident, actually, and that was the biggest one of them yet, and it definitely caught a few good cars out. But the big thing, like we said all throughout tonight, is there's no limit to the fast repair. So you wreck the car, you're going to continue to be out there as long as you get that thing fixed. And, a few guys have went a lap down just mostly have to do a tow. So as long as the car is at 2 terminal, you can get it back around to that pit road. You can get a completely brand new car, Brian.
Yeah, it's, a pretty nice thing to have. But it does make the racing a little bit more aggressive, because there's no risk. Usually in a league or in a official iRacing race where there are no fast repairs, the moves you make, there's a lot of risk, because you could damage the car and then your race is done. But when you have 2, 3 unlimited fast repairs, you're kind of open to do whatever you want, and there's almost 0 repercussions from it, other than kind of making your competition a little bit mad at you. So looks like some of these guys coming down pit road and took fuel only, so a little bit of shuffle in the track position here.
Ooh, very interesting strategy playing out. I think this could be a fuel mileage thing here, Brian. So I'm kind of interested to see what kind of strategy they could be looking to play from this that would be different if they didn't top off.
Well, we've seen this car on road courses on short tracks where tires don't really wear all that much. At Martinsville you can do 50, 60 laps, and your right side tires are only down to 98, 97% wear. So these next gen cars don't really wear out the tires that much. I don't know the exact number of tire wear at super speedway tracks, but I'd have to imagine they're pretty similar. So I'd imagine tires are not going to be too much of a concern today. But with that 60% fuel load, fuel is definitely what you're going to have to worry about. And from what we saw in that first run with Art Greco, that first caution, he elected to stay out, did not top off on fuel, and he had to give up the lead and come down pit road and ended up in ninth, 10th, 11th place. So I think maybe some guys had noticed that and are really making sure that any opportunity they get to put fuel in the car, they take it.
Yeah, I think they're noticing those opportunities a little bit more, like you said there, Brian, for sure, and saying, you know what, we don't want to be called out like that. So we'll see how it works out. But yeah, we can't confirm. Sam Dyer did get back on the lead lap there with this caution. Nick Larson, he actually went a lap down under this, having to do a tow, I believe. So I was unfortunate for him, but man, Sam Dyer getting his way back on the lead lap. We'll see what he can do now as we have 11 cars on this lead lap here. As we're going to be nearing halfway here at a very quick point.
Yeah, not that long at all. These laps, especially under green here at Talladega, can click off fairly quickly. So yeah, you almost have now you know, about 15 laps to halfway. So next time we pit, we will be past halfway. So kind of your next pit stop really kind of determines what the rest of the race is going to be for you strategically wise. So these guys are starting to make their bed, and then they're going to have to lay in it later. So better make sure that you make it right.
Yeah, you definitely are right about that, Brian. Pace car lights are off too, man, and we're getting ready to make this happen. Looks like Mazak, for the first time, he's going to be our leader of this restart. Tyler Dingler in second, Wayne Dewey third, fourth is going to be Art Greco, and fifth is going to round our top five there with Christopher Norris. So who's going to break into victory lane here tonight? It's going to be interesting to see. So far during this season, the 802 Cup Series has been very, very wild, up and down. Many drivers having turbulent seasons, and some drivers having excellent seasons. But I tell you what, coming into tonight here, the points leader was Keith Fallen. Coming in here tonight with a 360 points here total, over 305 of David Lamaga, and not being here tonight, both of those drivers, they'll look to drop this race. So that'll take one of their drop races from earlier away. So we'll see how that affects the standings going into the final two races there at Kansas and Las Vegas. But at the moment, Keith Fallen still our points leader. David Lamaga is in second. Those two drivers not here tonight at Talladega, as Barefoot will try to gain some spots on those drivers and see where he can assume after it all plays out, as he came in tonight third in points. But the pace car pulls in. We're going to get ready for our green flag restart here. Mazak's going to have control of this restart to see when he wants to go. And it looks like he wastes no time there, Brian. He goes super early, and this field's going to be super spread out. This is where you see big runs happen, though.
Yeah, a lot of runs going to be generated by these guys at the back with it being this spread out right now. And already a run being generated is Wayne Dewey looking to the outside of Mazak right now. Going to maybe have some help from Norris, but no, Norris is going to take it to the outside block. Dewey in behind that 31 car. And now Norris and Tyler Dingler going to be looking to try to push on the outside, but at 31 of Mazak sees it coming, going to block high, and Christopher Norris takes it low, and Christopher Norris got a little bit of momentum there on the inside line, and maybe just, nope, not quite. Not going to clear that 31 as Dingler going to give him a push, and we're 2 by 2 by 2 coming out of 4.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting little run out here as we got 6 cars all stacked up on top of each other. Norris looked to make a move up to the top. He drops back to the bottom there in front of Dewey, but Mazak having the help of the 69 of Dingler up top. It's going to be the run happening there along with Art Greco as the fog continues to roll in. The visibility might start to shrink for these drivers, but right now, Mazak out front leading the way here on lap 35.
Yamazaki able to secure that lead back, having the front 2-3 cars single file there for a little bit, but Norris generates a run, gonna drag Dewey along the outside with him, as well as Dingler, and that 31 starts really falling back as that momentum just goes right around him. As Greco now looking on the outside as those first 3 cars dip down low, but unfortunately he's not gonna have any help, but he is gonna pull a little side draft on Dingler there and create a gap between second and third.
Yeah, the gap is definitely formed, and it's going to make a run here happen for these top two. They're going to have to try to fend something off if the drivers behind them can formulate something, but it looks like a little too much movement from behind, and they won't be able to get the run they need. Is right now it's going to single file back up, but Talladega are wasting their time. He jots high. Does he go back low? As it looks like he was trying to make something happen, but I think he's just going to go backwards with that move, Brian.
Yeah, he is, but now 88 Art Greco, huge run, but he elects to lift. Gonna try to push the 69 car a little bit, see what he can do with that. He definitely had enough momentum to where he could have driven right around him, but elects that, hey, it's lap 36, not that late in the race, not gonna pull those moves just yet. But now you have the front 2 cars single file. The next 2 are the 31 and 69 of Dingler and Mazak. And then behind them, they're 2x2 as well. So, racing double file like that against some single file guys can be tough to generate some momentum. But as I'm saying that, they eventually do and now have caught up to Norris and Dewey there in first and second.
Yeah, this is definitely starting to heat back up here a little bit as Cato even comes in the picture a little bit here in the 8. But the 69, once again, trying to make something happen now. You're going to see Norris jump up to the top. Here we'll see that as the top side look to make the run, as you're actually going to have Dingler pulling up to the back bumper. He'll have Art Greco in the 88, and that's going to be that top 3 dropping down to the bottom side as Mazak goes below the yellow line there, dipping the left side tires off, and he's going to have to get that position back up. Unsure if they have a yellow line rule here in the league, but man, looks like he gave it back up there as they're going to lose a little bit of time to this group up ahead of them.
Yeah, and whether they have that yellow line rule or not, either way, going into 3, you kind of got stuck on that that apron transition area right there, and that can slow you down a little bit and really upset the car. So he may have had to get out of the gas a little bit, make sure he keeps it straight. But he's good now. He's getting that momentum back. Gonna suck up to the back and forth place of Wayne Dewey there. But these front 4 guys right now, looks like they've kind of decided to quit racing, and they're just going to be riding and figure out when are they going to pit for fuel here.
That's a very, very good point there, Brian. They'll probably be imagining a lot of these guys are going to be trying to set themselves up for something interesting. We saw Art Greco earlier taking about 22 to 23 laps on a tank of fuel before he pit. That was with a caution. So I'm thinking these guys, if anything, might be looking around 20 laps on a tank of fuel, possibly there to make it to the to where they need to go. Is the last pit stops came from an interesting point there. So we'll have to see exactly when that all shakes out and when these drivers want to do that. But I would think they could go anywhere upwards of 20 laps on a tank. So it could make it around a 1 to 2 stop, or possibly even a 3 stop here. As again, that fog, Brian, I think it continues to get a little bit thicker and thicker.
Oh, it's funny you said that, Zach, because I was thinking the same thing. I think what it is that there's currently a cloud in front of the sun right now, because we do have some partly cloudy weather. So I think we got a little bit of shade going on right now, and that makes the fog just that much worse from at least our point of view. I think these guys in the cars, with as small as these packs are right here, I think they're able to see everybody that's directly ahead of them. If we had 40 cars out here and there was a wreck up front, those guys in the back may have some visibility issues coming up on some other cars. But it's definitely interesting because there are some of our camera angles that we have that just due to the fog, it's kind of hard to see who is who out there.
That it is. We got this great shot here right on board with our leader, Christopher Norris here. You can kind of even see up ahead of him on the track. It's very hazy. I mean, if something was to happen, you would possibly be able to detect it, but man, it's definitely on the harder side of things. So definitely one of the weirder occurrences, and one of the things here that the beauty of iRacing.com, the weather system that we have, you could have all different types of weather here at this Talladega Super Speedway. And it affects the race cars a good bit too, Brian. Not only does it add some moisture, but I'd imagine it affects it in a lot more mechanical areas also.
Yeah, there's multiple things that humidity the humidity has several different effects on motorsports. One, of course, as we're seeing, is if it's so humid that it's foggy, it can do some have some visibility problems from inside the car, or from our perspective. From above looking down onto the track, but humidity has an effect on engine horsepower. uh, Engines need that fuel air mixture, um, usually about 14 parts air and 1 part fuel. And if you have some really really humid air, well, that moisture in the air is taking up the space that oxygen molecules would usually take up. So you're not going to be your fuel air mixture going to be a little bit off, not going to be able to generate as much power. And then of course, warm humid air moves across the body of the car differently than some cold crisp air. So as we got Christopher Norris going around, Dewey getting into the back of him, but aerodynamically, humidity has an effect on these cars as well. What that effect is, I'm not entirely sure, but I do know it does change some.
I believe we got a caution here thrown by the admin group there for that one car incident there down on the bottom of the racetrack. So we will be under caution there as Norris, like you said, did go around and you saw that incident there happen as he went off the nose of Dewey and oh man, unfortunate there for a few of these guys to position themselves well. But luckily for Norris, it was an unfortunate spin to lose track position, but on the good side of things, no damage anywhere.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky. It's fairly unusual to get spun out at Talladega or Daytona and not hit anything. So that was good on his part. The only thing damaged is maybe a little bit of confidence in the tires.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a little bit of confidence left for sure in tire wear for sure because that big of a slide got to definitely take some wear out of the tires, and we'll see how he elects to take these pit stops. And we've seen so far during this race, a lot of guys have planned the way their pit stops are working out. To be top off pretty much every single time, get as much fuel packed in this car. So we'll see how this sets it up, but this is right around or right at that halfway point here, Brian.
Yeah, so that's pretty good from a strategy perspective. It does kind of make it pretty easy from here on out. Um, you're coming in on lap 43 under caution, gonna have that full 60% fuel, and when we go green, we're gonna have just under 40 laps left. So you're possibly looking at a one-stop race from here on out. If maybe you could save a couple laps. So um, still kind of right outside of that window of a one-stop race from here, but I think it's definitely doable.
I definitely have that feeling too, Brian, as we're seeing pit road be a busy, busy place. Looks like Cato goes away there on his own. Dewey there in the 11, 69 of Tyler Dingler, the 6 of Johnny Barker, the 31 of Mazak there also all getting out there. And this should help bring everybody back together. Even Rob Lowell, I think he might get the lucky dog here in the 21 to help get back himself on the lead lap.
Yeah, so that's good for him. Rob Lowell getting back on the lead lap, so that'll mean that Nick Larson is going to remain a lap down, and then Mr. Eric there in the 33 still going to be 2 laps down. He's kind of been unfortunate. It's been an unfortunate set of circumstances for him for getting 2 laps down early in the race, and every time we get a caution, there's always somebody a lap down ahead of him. So just hadn't quite had the luck with that, and time's running out for him. But if we get 4 quick cautions right in a row, he'll be right back on the lead lap.
That's very, very true, Brian. And you never know, Talladega, it's a place that can very well happen. The aggression level's high, no fast repair limit. These drivers are willing to risk it for the biscuit, as they would say. So we'll see how they look to continue that for the rest of the night. But we are past halfway, and we got Kerry Shaver out front after starting second here tonight. He's going to be our leader here when we get ready to go back green flag racing. But man, nobody's really out of this personally, Brian. Out of all the 13 cars, just personally due to that no limit of fast pairs. It's kind of as many resets as you want.
Yeah, we always talk about these super speedway races being a race where really anybody can win just due to having to have these runs and having to have a little bit of luck on your side. Really anybody can win because it's not just uh, you're not worried about braking, you're not worried about apexes, you're not worried about all these things that can really set drivers apart. All of that's taken away, and like you said, with the all of these mulligans, I guess you could say, having a brand new car every time it gets damaged, coming down pit road, getting that fast repair, keeps everybody in the race. And as long as you get yourself back onto the lead lap, if you are a lap down, then you can go up there and win the thing. So, like you said, nobody is out of this race right now, which is pretty interesting.
That's right. Nobody out of this race, but nobody is also safe in this race either. So it's the one thing about Talladega, lurking around every single corner. There is danger waiting to happen, and but like we said, for that for that danger, you got this fast repair. So you just gotta hope it all works out where you don't get towed, you don't lose laps. You gotta stay on that lead lap and get that car fixed and get back out there, and we'll have a shot at it, man. But right now we got 11 cars back on this lead lap, and this is the most we've had in a few restarts. So we'll see 11 cars here look to go at it as Larson's going to look to get himself, I believe, waved around also as he stayed out.
Well, Zach, I just did a little bit of research because I wasn't too sure how aerodynamics, how aerodynamics are affected by humid air. So, the way I understand it is so a molecule of water is actually lighter than a molecule of whatever is in the air generally. So water can be considered to be lighter, and humid air, water is replacing more of those molecules. So humid air is technically lighter than dry air, which is a little bit counterintuitive, seems like at first. So humid air will not generate as much downforce and drag as cold air or dry air would. So pretty interesting thing to think about.
That is very, very interesting also, Brian. Yeah, that the downforce of the drag levels, that's it definitely could have an effect. And aerodynamics, all it is fluid dynamics really. So uh it's pretty much everything has a fluid, and it has a very weird effect. So cool to hear that info. Thank you to Brian Johnson there for bringing it to us. As these guys are all lined up and ready to go. It's Kerry Shaver leading the way, and he's off on his way. It's his restart was in his control. He's got control of it, and it looks like Cato was thinking about dropping low, but he's going to now hold that outside line as we're back racing here.
Yeah, that was a much better restart from the first car on the outside lane there. Some other restarts we've seen where that hasn't been the case, but Cato and Dingler are able to, kind of have a little bit of momentum right here, able to take that first and second place. And now it looks like the 31 Mazak going to dip down low, try to get a little bit of some draft going. As looks like Dingler going to look to the outside now and try to take this lead.
What a move there from the 69 machine, trying to make something happen there. Can Tyler Dingler get it done? Doesn't look like he's going to have enough here, possibly, because that bottom line is surging back. But with the help of Christopher Norris, who just was involved in a wreck. And here comes big runs from behind. It's Sam Dyer. Also, they jump up top. It's going to be 3 wide for the lead up front.
Yeah, 3 wide for the lead. Now, Sam Dyer just had some massive runs. Had a bunch of momentum coming up to the front. As all know, a little bit of broadcast curse as he goes around.
And just like that, like you said, caution is back out on the speedway, and that right there seemed to be contact between that 42 machine and that number 82 there, Nick Larson. So that's not good for Larson, because that's not going to allow him to get that lucky dog, and he's going to be in a tough situation. But hard hit for a few guys, and I think also I believe that was the 6 of Johnny Barker who took a pretty big hit, and Sam Dyer, pretty big hit for him also. Luckily, though, they got their fast repair, so they should be in an all right position here, as we'll try to get them re-racked up here before the pit stops.
Yeah, like we said, with all of these cautions, as long as these guys do not have to tow, they're not really going to be losing out on any time. Um, Unlimited fast repairs, so any of these cars that they can drive directly to pit road from that incident, they will still stay on the lead lap here, and yeah, they'll be fine. And what this also does is this gives everybody else the opportunity to come down and top off on fuel and ensure that it will be a one-stop race from here on out.
That could possibly be the chance for someone to do something like that. So we'll see who elects to try that. But Christopher Norris out front, that's this is one of the things, Brian. Like, he was just involved in the very last caution. A couple laps later, he's now out front leading. I mean, this is a merry-go-round of leaders here, I feel like, tonight. And really, it's just going to be, I think, just timing when you want to be out front here at lap 85.
Yeah, it's really tricky at these super speedway races, especially Talladega, because Talladega you can really make the outer lanes work a little bit better than you can at Daytona, and with it being a longer track and where that start finish line is, it can be really tricky to figure out, when do I want the lead? Do I want the lead taking the white flag, or do I want to be second or third or fourth? So it can be a tricky thing, and some of that has to do with driving style, I think, and kind of just how your brain works at a super speedway as to whether you want the lead or you don't. But even before we get to the white flag, you know, figuring out where you want to position your car in the front of the pack, the middle of the pack, or the back of the pack, it can be pretty tricky to figure out because you never know when the havoc is or where the havoc is going to be.
Yeah, that's that is very true. You can kind of judge it a little bit better. And again, we're seeing a busy pit road once again because fuel here is going to be a very vital thing. It looks like Nick Larson, who was involved in that yellow, he's still out on the racetrack. I wonder if he'll be looking to stay out in that 82 to try to get another wave around instead of taking the lucky dog because he was involved in that last yellow. So would not be eligible for that, but would be eligible for it here if he stays out. But I actually know Bazak in front of him will actually trap him still a lap down. So he tried to do it. Now going to be trapped a lap down. That 82 might be looking to hit pit road here as this lap car.
Yeah, I think that's a good call by him. Knowing that he's not going to be able to get that lucky dog. Just go ahead, come down pit road, get that fuel, making sure that you stay on the same strategy as everybody else around you, because I think that's going to give you the best shot at you know being able to have at least one person to draft with. Is if you're on that similar strategy, that'll help you out a lot.
Well, we'll see how that all shakes out here. It's going to be Mazak staying out. That's just a weird situation there for him. I think just stay out there and not try to elect to get fuel. I think that's been everybody's MO here tonight, but he's changing up here, wanting to stay out front here as maybe he feels another caution is looming. So we've had a few of them tonight with 5 of them so far. But so far it's been some good green flag racing as we're under our under yellow right here. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves another shout out to one of our other amazing sponsors here, and that is Advanced Sim Racing, the fastest growing North American racing simulator chassis manufacturer and digital motorsports equipment real retailer. So make sure you head on over to advancedsimracing.com and use that promo code FreakyFast5 to get 5% off of any purchase there. So thank you again, Advanced Sim Racing, and all of our sponsors here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But man, oh man, Brian, we're going to get them racked back up here. Looks like the pace car lights are going to go out, and we're about to get this race back going.
Yeah, and when we take that green flag, this restart here gonna have I believe 25 to go. So race coming down to a close. May have to make another pit stop here. Maybe not if you can save enough fuel. But either way, these guys, these moves that they're going to be making, going to be much more aggressive than they were earlier. Up the early in the race, they looked a little bit scared to push each other. I think that's going to be thrown out the window here. And we've seen more and more 3 wide as this race has gone on, and I don't think we've seen the last of that either.
I highly doubt that too, Brian. I think that 3 wide is going to rear its ugly head again once again. And, that's what Talladega is meant for, though, man. Talladega, a very wide racetrack and much wider than Daytona. So I think it equates to that style of racing. But Mazak out front, Norris here in second, Dingler in third, Greco fourth, and Rob Lowell back up to fifth. So some new players in this position, and also Eric K there in the 33. He got back to one lap down. So the two drivers that are lap down, Nick Larson and Eric in the 33, both those drivers only one lap down now. Gonna be fighting for a lucky dog here, Brian.
Yeah, that was an adjustment iRacing made maybe 1 or 2 years ago. They introduced this Lucky Dog candidate system where, Nick Larson, he was going to be the lucky dog, but he got involved. So he's not eligible to be the lucky dog. Well, used to, it would just be nobody be the lucky dog. Well, now it moves to the next eligible person. So 33 of Eric right there. Really good opportunity for him. So now both of those guys going to be battling to see who is going to be the next lucky dog in the event of caution. So a little bit of a race within a race.
A race within a race, my friend. That is what it is, definitely. You got to get to that lead lap if you want to get to that checker flag first. So we'll see. Can those two get back on lead lap? It's going to be Jacob Mazaka out front, though, with our pace car pulling itself in and getting ourselves ready to go. As Mazaka is going to take off into the restart, and he's going to have Norris there actually timing that pretty well. Is this going to be almost a pretty even start as the 69 of Dingler starting to pull up? Is that outside line with Greco really starting to come? Is this going to be Norris jumping down low?
Yeah, holy cow, where did that momentum come from? It seemed like it came out of nowhere, but Greco and Cato right there in the 88 and the 8, trying to make something happen up top, but all of a sudden now is just completely stalled out as Norris gives a huge shove to Mazak, almost bumps him up into that outside lane. But, these guys, the aggressiveness, already starting to see it half a lap into this run.
Yeah, definitely showing some aggressive traits here for sure for these drivers, trying to make something happen. As Greco led early in his races, Norris moved up just a little bit in that 83 machine. That could have been a little bit dangerous there as they come out of turn number 4 there as they rocket here down the front straightaway. It looks like this lap here going to be led by that 88 of Greco.
Yeah, outside lane did a really good job of staying organized, staying pretty calm up there, making sure everybody stayed straight. That push was consistent. And really, I mean, you had 3 guys able to push past the 31. Right now, that inside lane is starting to get some of that momentum back due to the 88 and 8 dropping down. But Sam Dyer leading that top pack as Norris is going to take it in the middle, trying to drive past that 31 of Mazak, and he's going to take Dingler with him as Dyer making a little bit of contact with the 11, and there they go.
Oh, big moment there. Huge wreck there for the 6th caution of the night, and major incident there involving that 42 of Sam Dyer, and it all kind of started right around him there. Going into that corner, got a little bit squirrely and just kind of stacked that field up, and man, oh man, when it all transpired there, it led to a huge collision between a bunch of drivers that got involved. That Jacob Mazak, Nick Larson, who was also trying to get that lucky dog. The 6 of Barker was involved, Barefoot, the 11 of Dewey, also Lowell in the 21. I mean, it was almost the whole entire field. Luckily for the 33's sake, I think he's going to get the lucky dog because he was so far behind this group.
Yeah, and so that brings another player into the game. That 33, he had been, spent most of this race 2 laps down, unable to get it back. But here he is, 50-ish laps later, able to get back onto the lead lap with, right around 20 to go when we get this restart here in a few laps. So, all you need is, a handful of laps, maybe 2-3 laps to go from, 12th to 1st. So he's going to have 20 laps to figure out how to do it. And that would be a comeback story and a half right there.
Yeah, it definitely would be a comeback story, no doubt indeed. But back under caution for the 6th time here tonight here on lap 53. While these guys go under caution, we're going to go ahead and head to our second commercial break up here of the night here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting here. So you're not going to miss a thing as we'll take it side by side here as it's lap 53 of 85 here at the 802 Cup Series. And man, what a night it's been so far. Ups and downs, bumps and bruises, many different things going on throughout the night. But we'll have to see how it all shakes out here as we continue to pace around the Talladega Super Speedway at the 802 Cup Series here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. As I don't know if we're going to a commercial break, but actually, Brian, I guess we'll just stay here.
Well, that's fine too. We'll come up with something to talk about. Those iRacing videos. I always enjoy watching them, but we can. We got roughly 26 or not 26, 21 laps to go, and like I said, you only need about 2 or 3 laps to go from 10th or further on back up to first. So all these drivers still have plenty of time to figure out something to get themselves back into the lead or up to the lead. Um, but at the same time, 20 laps can go by in a hurry. It's funny. Super speedway racing can sometimes feel like short track racing because you're racing, trying to do your thing, trying to get to the front. Before you know it, 15 laps have gone by.
Yeah, no matter, no time. It always goes by super quick, man. But Greco out front here, it looks like staying out too. So again, some drivers elected not to take those chances to come down pit road. And with the size of the field, that's another thing, Brian. It's one thing to lose a lot of track position, but 9 cars on lead lap, that is barely any track position loss when it comes to the Talladega Super Speedway. I think that's probably why we've seen pit road be this busy.
Yeah, well, with the field this small, like you said, Zach, don't really have to worry about track position. Really, the only thing you have to worry about when you're pitting and putting yourself in the back is, now you kind of almost guarantee that any trouble that happens is going to be ahead of you. But that's no different than any other Talladega race. But what can be a little bit different is while you're not losing a whole lot of track position, you are going to put yourself possibly at the end of the pack, so you're going to be the last car. So if you have to check up for any reason, your risk of losing the draft of the pack is pretty high. So that is the only danger if you turn out to be maybe one of 2 or 3 cars coming down pit road, is that your risk of losing the draft kind of really goes up.
It really, really does, man. And losing that draft is your lifeline, man. Draft here is just one of those things that you can't equate it, man. It's definitely one of those things where if you don't have it here, you're not doing anything. It's not, you're not a factor. It's just one of those things that you have to have. And if you lose the pack, you're just riding around there out by yourself, and it is a lonely feeling, no doubt indeed. But Greco going like I had to have the lead, like I said, with Gene Cato there in second, Tyler Dingler in third, Christopher Norris in fourth, and Johnny Barker there in our top 5 as we're on lap 55. Got about 30 laps here to go, Brian, in this race. This is setting up for an interesting situation here for guys on fuel mileage. I'm very interested to see where they'll decide to finally make that last pit stop, because it's definitely within that 1 stop range.
Yeah, you're definitely right there, Zach. So now you have to decide when are you going to pit? Are you going to run this tank out, or are you going to come down pit road as soon as you know you can make it with that 60% full tank in quotation marks there? But so that's kind of your 2 strategies, and both of them work pretty well. Especially that one, driving. Around the track, maybe 7-8 laps, and then as soon as you know you can make it, when you slam the fuel tank full, you come down pit road. As long as you got some help, that strategy can work very, very well when done correctly. But if not done correctly, it can almost ruin your race. So got to be careful doing that strategy. But we will see what these guys elect to do. I'd have to imagine it's going to be more of a vanilla more of a vanilla style approach to strategy, just due to the amount of cars here tonight.
That it possibly couldn't be, man, and we'll see how it shakes out as the pace car is going to take its left-hand turn down the pit road. We're going to have this 88 machine, Art Greco, leading the way, and looks like he's already off ahead away as he's gaining speed and deciding to get this race rolling here as this group looks to roar away. Everybody a much cleaner start and much more grouped up. We could see less breaking away here, unless that's been majority of the night. It's just been the guys who get the most organized. Let's see who can do it right now. Is it's going to be the Ada Cato with a push of the 83 taking the lead.
Yeah, did a really good job there. Norris almost able to get clear of the 88 there, but just not quite. And right now he doesn't have any help. But help is going to be quickly approaching if they elect to go with him. Rob Lowell going to suck up to the back of the 83, give him a gigantic push. And look at that momentum that Christopher Norris had. He was falling back away from Cato in the 8 and now has just flown past him.
What a move there from that 83 machine out to the lead. He's going to get the push help from that 21 of Lowell, and also going to have that 82 of Larson there coming up into the picture. Now, with 4 drivers a lap down, Sam Dyer, Nick Larson, Jacob Mazak, and Kerry Shaver, this is going to be an interesting race here for Lucky Dog. You're going to have to pretty much race for it like it's the lead, as these drivers are going to have to be in the right position at the right time if they want to get that lap back from that sort of fashion. So we'll see how it works out. But right now, still that 83 out front, as he's made that inside line the preferred choice way, as these guys are getting a little bit dicey back there around Tyler Dingler to 69.
Yeah, that's the 82 of Nick Larson right there. He's trying anything and everything he can to try to take the lead of this pack, because the thing about it is, with him being 1 lap down, if he takes the lead of the pack, then he's technically on the lead lap by 2 feet. So, you know, he's going to be trying to look to get ahead of all of these leaders right here. And then he doesn't have to worry about being the lucky dog. He can just be on the lead lap as it is. You know, we call that getting your lap back the hard way. And right now he's got the momentum on the outside, got a little bit of help in the 31 of Mazak there. And, you know, looks like his chances of getting his lap back the hard way are pretty high right now.
That they are, man, oh man. Just trying to do it the old-fashioned way, like you said there. That's a risky way to do it. And he's also doing it with the 82, so this is going to be an interesting scenario. They also got the 42 of Sam Dyer pulling up with them. So all 3 lap cars, other than Kerry Shaver and the 18, who's, I believe, back from this group all by himself. Yeah, unfortunately. It looks like just heavy racing going on. Is that 82 all over the place with the push from that 31? That almost ended up in an incident.
Yeah, you know, these cars, same thing with the Gen 6, you know, low horsepower and high horsepower days, and you know, going back to the COT, these cars just very, very sensitive in the corner when it comes to pushing. And then these cars, especially, we've seen tonight, very sensitive in the straight. You have to be very square, very centered to the car ahead of you, and you also have to make sure you're pushing them straight ahead and not, you know, coming in at any sort of angle. So, you know, pushing in the corner, you definitely have to make sure it's about as square as you can get it, or you know, some chaos might occur.
That it may, and it's getting a little bit tense back behind this group. Here's the 31. Mazak again on the outer groove. He's got now the 88 of Greco up ahead of him as he shuffled that 82 back. This group has just been pushing super hard, and I wouldn't expect nothing less but a caution here to come from these guys at some point, as it's getting to push is coming to shove now, Brian.
Yeah, it's definitely looking very, very, very dicey, as you got the 88 Art Greco right there, right in the middle. Kind of got put in the sucker hole right there, but these guys still 3 wide towards the back of this pack. Man, they're getting very, very close between the 82 and 42 there in the back. But you know, up front, and we saw this earlier, where the front half of the pack, they got single file and just decided to ride around, and the guys at the back were racing and kind of formed a gap here. So these guys in danger of doing that, as well as these 4 guys here at the back of this pack starting to fall back a little bit.
Yeah, this is not what you want to see. We see a few times that's how you get lost back in that group. Is this 3 wide back there with Dewey, the 88 of Grecos? They're starting to drop back now as they finally 2 files. It gets 2 file there, as up front is the 21 of Rob Lowell leading the way there in front of Cato. Norris has been kind of the catalyst tonight of a lot of moves. That 83 in his first race, he's been making lots of moves. And again, I will continue to beat this dead horse. But man, look at that fog, Brian.
Yeah, it's. I think we've gotten another cloud in front of the sun. Can't really see it because it's so foggy. But yeah, this with the darker, or the less amount of light that we have, looks you know, that fog really pops out. And the other thing about it is, we've had 96% humidity the whole race. Well, now it's up to 97, so it actually is just a little bit foggier out there.
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting, and interesting to see how the weather has changed throughout the night right here. 'cause it's partly cloudy, 82 degrees out there, 95-degree track temperature with a south 9-mile-an-hour wind. And I mean, from that view right there, you can see, I mean, we literally can't even see anything. It is that cloudy and that humid and that foggy out here to out here at Talladega, and man, it's definitely could be affecting these cars out here and even their visibility more and more as that humidity continues to rise and the visibility gets less and less.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have a run like these guys on the outside lane did just for a second. Can't really see it because of the fog, but they did have some momentum going into three. But again, just car got a little bit squirrely due to a push, and that momentum came out. But I'd have to imagine when you're at the back of the pack and you get some momentum and you're flying along the outside of them, might be a little bit hard to see those cars underneath you.
Yeah, this is definitely turned into a little bit more of an interesting race as each lap goes by. As you see that three wide moment going through the fog there, they're wrecking actually for position. As I believe that is the 6 of Barker going around, and it's going to be contact between him and Nick Larson, who I believe that's going to trap him again. Not with the lucky dog. I believe Mazak may be the driver rewarded with that lucky dog position here for the 7th caution of the night there, with contact between the 6 and the 82.
Yeah, it does look like he is going to be our lucky dog here. So congratulations to him. That'll leave us with 4 cars a lap or more down. And now we definitely, I think all of these guys will see him come down pit road, top off the fuel. And I think they will definitely be good to the end from that point.
That should possibly put people very, very close to being good, especially with these laps here. I think some topping off will be necessary possibly here, Brian. What do you think?
I think that's definitely going to be the case. I think the smartest thing to do, probably no matter whether you're up front or in the back, is you come down pit road here, you slam the thing full of fuel, take tires if you feel like it's necessary, and then with 1 to green, you drop down pit road again and put the half a gallon extra or 1 gallon extra fuel in the car, and then you can ensure that you're definitely going to be much closer to getting to the end of the race than everybody else. So not an unusual thing to see, especially at a super speedway, to see some guys come down with 1 to go, 1 to green.
Definitely going to be a busy place here for sure, as we're going to see what this group elects to do. Is they're going to be coming down, I believe this time here is Lowell's going to look to pull him down. Yes, he does there, as Mazak will be the only car that's left to stay out there, but that's because he's going to be getting the lucky dog this time. Also, I believe we may see a few guys attempt to take the wave here. Shaver stays out, but they do have to pit the other lap if they want to decide. But yeah, Shaver staying out there, that could possibly lead to him trying to take a wave around here.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good choice. You just have to hope that a caution is going to come out pretty shortly after we go green on this restart, because he's definitely putting himself in a bit of a fuel box by trying to get that lap back right now.
Definitely going to be putting him in a box for sure, because this situation a lot worse than the other drivers as the fog continues to roll in here to the Talladega Super Speedway, as we're going to be coming to 20 to go when they cross the line next time. We've seen so far that number 88 was able to pit there on lap number 22 earlier in this race, but that was with a caution there to help him get to that lap. So this could be a little bit closer here, Brian, but I think these guys should be good. But the thing they have to always think about is that overtime rule.
Yeah, that's going to throw kind of all these fuel talks right out the window if we get even just 1 green-white checkered. We've seen one guy go 22, 23 laps on fuel, but that was with 1 caution. So, like we were speculating earlier, you probably have to guess that, this 60% fuel load gets you around 19 to 20 laps of fuel. So, if we get a caution with 2 to go and we get some additional laps in this race, then, these guys are definitely going to have to come down and get some more fuel. And, Especially considering the fact that, the way that we've seen these guys race late in the race like this, being super, super aggressive, making moves that they weren't earlier, and, just this hard racing generates cautions. So I think if we get one green, white checkered, we may get multiple. So I think in the event of that happening, you will see everybody come down and take as much fuel as they can.
See what the strategy is here, but continue to pace here under tonight's here race at the 802 Cup Series as their season looks to wind down here. Is we only got 2 races left, and it's crazy to say that we were already through this full entire 12-week season. But man, oh man, next week going to be at Kansas, Brian. What can you think we expect at Kansas, man? It's been an interesting racetrack, especially with this next gen car. Used to be a little bit of a different racetrack. I feel like it's changed up a lot here since this car's came into the factor.
Yeah, Kansas races a bit more similar to kind of like Charlotte does. Both of those tracks are a mile and a half, and you run the inside lane. Used to Kansas was you were running up by the wall and able to. That was the preferred line, and the only way to pass anybody was to do really aggressive slide jobs. But Kansas has changed with this next gen car, at least on iRacing, and seems like typically the inside lane is the place to be. There, you can make the outside lane work a little bit depending on the situation, but a lot of brake is necessary at Kansas, making sure you don't abuse that right front. That seemed to be something when we had raced there just a few weeks ago. Taking care of your right front is very, 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 very important. As soon as you burn that right front off, you're never getting it back. The handling of that car goes away, and there's nothing you can do besides put a fresh set of tires on the car. So, a lot of brake, a lot of coasting in the middle, and being careful with what you do with the throttle on exit. So, these guys at Kansas is going to be a challenge. Even though it's a mile and a half, it's still not like any other track we've been to all season, which is kind of crazy to say. But Kansas could pose a challenge, and maybe we do have the potential to maybe see a new winner there next week.
We very well could, man. And, we could see a new winner here tonight, even too. So you never know. It could always shake out that way. And tonight, right now, with Rob Lowe leading the way, I mean, he's been a lap down at one point. It's been all over the place for some of these guys. You never know who could end up in these final 20 in the right spot. But when we take the green flag here in a second, it's going to be 19 laps to go here at the 802 Cup Series at the Talladega Super Speedway. As it's Freaky Fast broadcasting here tonight on a Sunday night, as always, here at the 802 Cup Series. As we're back, green flag racing. And look at this, Rob Lowe launching out there, Brian. That sometimes isn't what you want to do, though, at Daytona. Or, sorry, Talladega.
Well, either Daytona or Talladega, it doesn't really matter which one it is. If, as the leader, if you get too much of a gap built between you and everybody else, they're going to blow by you in no time at all, which is what we might be seeing right now. But no, it looks like the 6 of Johnny Barker, he's going to be pretty loyal to Rob Lowell up there. He's going to elect to push him rather than try to get that push, or get that slingshot around him. But Cato looked to get down on the inside, but now he's just put himself in the middle in that sucker hole. But keep an eye on that 69 and 83 pair of Dingler and Norris. They're well, never mind. Dingler elects to go up top and part ways with Norris, but there for a little bit, it looks like they were going to be a threat to try to take this lead, pushing each other.
That they were. They were looking to be the threat. As Norris almost up into the 11 machine, the winner at Daytona. It's 3 wide there as Dingler's up top. He's going to drop back as the fog continues to roll in. These drivers are just going at it now as they're looking for any little gap to try to make their way up there. But 18 to go. They got to get to that checker flag if they want to have a shot. But right now, just some intense racing going on back there around that 83 machine.
Yep, it's like they say, to finish first, you first must finish. So you got to think about getting to the white flag first, before you think about winning this race. And, now, due to all that craziness happening, in 1 and 2 and on the backstretch, now we've gotten everybody pretty separated as far as the front is concerned. They're, starting to catch back up to each other, and roughly single file. As you can see, that car in the back of the pack, that's going to be Art Greco. He's looking to try to make something happen, but I think these guys they're pushing so consistently right now, and are starting to do what a pack did earlier, which was attempt to pull away. But right now, Jeff Barefoot, who is 2 laps down, is leading the second pack back here right in front of Sam Dyer, who is 1 lap down. And they have some crazy amount of momentum as they're starting to catch this lead pack.
Yeah, I was just about to say we have a two-pack, a pack breakaway up here, but man, that second pack led by Barefoot, pushed by Sam Dyer, blew up to him. So great job by them. It looks like the drivers that may be in danger is Tyler Dingler back there with the 11 of Dewey. They got to try to get themselves up there as this one was in that 31, trying to make something happen. That could definitely slow this group up here and help make something happen. Yeah, they're racing hard now.
Yeah, there's, we always talk about give and take in a race, especially on the oval side of things, NASCAR side of things. And, as we always say, the give and take ratio does change late in the race. It's much more take and a lot less give. So I think that's what we're seeing right now. These guys starting to take, all of these runs that are given to them, not really thinking about pushing anybody as, oh, Dewey and Art Greco make contact, and both of them go around.
Back under caution here for the 8th time tonight. That was a big, big hit, and we might have even had a driver also under some in trouble there. Just go get removed from the server, but man, that 11 and that number 88 there just involved in that one, and that's going to be another caution here, Brian, and it's going to set us up here for pit stops to possibly if some people want to come back down and make sure they got really enough fuel.
Yeah, and another strange thing that happened was you had Christopher Norris actually had a bit of a moment as soon as that caution came out. He came out of 4 and, was turning the car, and he just kept turning and hit the inside wall. So I have to wonder, I do know that he has had some display issues with his VR headset before. So, hopefully that didn't happen. But either way, he's still stuck in the middle of the track there. So wondering what's going on there. But definitely, I think right now you come down pit road, get the fuel, and then you are going to be good for a couple of green white checkers after that, I do believe.
Very well could be. Is have a few drivers pulling it behind the wall here tonight and leaving the track. It's going to be a few of them left out there with Rob Lowell, Johnny Barker there, Gene Cato, and it looks like Eric in the 33 there. He's made his way into position here in 5th somehow. And on the lucky dog, I believe we may be getting Sam Dyer possibly.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine so, that he is going to be the lucky dog, as long as he was not involved in that, which I don't think he was. So that'll be good for him. That'll be the second time that he's gotten himself a lucky dog to get back onto the lead lap. And then, of course, you still have Jeff Barefoot down there 2 laps down. And, the way this thing is going, I think he definitely... well, never mind, as we have, a few more cars 1 lap down just ahead of him. One of those cars being Christopher Norris, which does look like he has sorted his issues out, and he'll be able to get back out there. So, unfortunately for Jeff Barefoot, not going to be the first lucky dog candidate next caution.
That he will not be, as these guys continue to pace. It's definitely getting into that interesting part of the race where everybody's going to have to try any little thing they can. But man, oh man, it's been a tough night for a few drivers out there, and a foggy one at that. So tough for us to see up here in the booth, and also a tough one for a few guys there that got involved in those incidents. So definitely trying to figure out everything that's going to play out here. But thank you all for tuning in here tonight. Freaky Fast broadcasting here at the 802 Cup Series. It's been a pleasure to call. But Brian, I think Lowell's going to have a lot of hungry competition behind him, looking to try to make something happen. Who, especially Lowell, he's got to be hungry too. He hasn't won since Atlanta.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since he's won a race. He does have that tire saving ability at other racetracks, but of course at Talladega, tire saving really doesn't do anything for you. So having to race a little differently, trying to get the win in a different way. And so far, now granted, late in the race here, we've had several cautions, so not a whole lot of time for anything to generate to try to take that lead away from him. But he still is doing a really good job of at least maintaining the lead for the amount of time that he has to, and that is good practice in the event of a green-white checkered. You know, every restart you get to learn what other guys are going to be doing, and you can kind of get a better idea of what they might do at the end of the race.
Yeah, it's gonna give us that idea for sure, Brian, for no doubt indeed, man. But it's gonna be wild to see who can get it done. If the 33 comes out here and wins this race, he's gonna be like, man, what a comeback for myself, because he was trapped so far back with so many laps down, and now has made that great comeback. Same for Sam Dyer, he was a couple laps down. Nick Larson spent a lot of the night laps down. A majority of the field did, so definitely very interesting. It looks like half of our field too got kind of taken from that last caution we had there, and a few other guys having technical issues. Right now, only got 8 cars on the lead lap, and I believe those are maybe the only 8 cars out there other than Jeff Barefoot.
Yeah, well, the good news is, Zach, is that the sun has decided to show its head again, and now we can see. So now we know who is who out there from our camera angles, which is very nice, because before you couldn't even tell the difference between a Mustang, a Camaro, or a Camry. So sun has come back out. This fog is, well, not really rolling out, but that sun makes it a lot easier to see.
That it does, man. I tell you, the sun is shining down right now, saying, man, we've seen some carnage tonight, but what can we see for a finish here is Lowell out front, Barker there in second, Cato in third. It's just been an interesting one to say the least here. But pace car lights are out. We're getting to go back green flag racing. Brian, 13 to go. There's still plenty of time for some cautions, but what do you think will be the biggest factor here coming down? And where do you think this 21 needs to place himself?
Well, he needs to place himself in front of anybody and everybody that has a run. I think that's the, the best way to go about doing it is just to make your car about 3-4 lanes wide, and then you don't have to worry about anybody passing you. But that is very much easier said than done. It can be very difficult to do, and you can there's a high risk that you get yourself wrecked in the process. So. The best case scenario for him is that, all these guys get single file, and, any moves that anybody makes, he can definitely see them coming way before they happen, and can have time to adjust. So we'll see what he does. But, Rob, all night long, he's been doing pretty good.
Yeah, he has, man. It's been impressive to see from him, as he's going to try to go back and get himself a win here at the Talladega Super Speedway after getting that win in Atlanta. But we're back rolling as he's made his way down the turn one along with that A to Gene Cato. And I believe, Cato and Barker and Lowell all teammates. So this very well could be a strong start to this restart for him. But they got Nick Larson, that pole setter, right behind.
Yeah, and Larson had a little bit of momentum, but maybe a little bit squirrely coming off of the corner there. Gonna look to push the 6 car up ahead, but 6 just for some reason the car kind of acted like a brick wall when he got pushed. I'm not sure what's going on there, but going back to Rob Lowell, what he got to do to win this race and maintain the lead, the one thing that's helping him is something you pointed out a little bit ago, Zach, is that there's not many cars left out there on the track. So less cars means less potential for momentum generation. So I think a lot of these guys at this point, it's going to be hard to find somebody to push you to try to pass these guys.
Yeah, this is going to be tough to do for sure, and we'll see who's the first to try some of his old Sam Dyer. And then back there below the yellow line, got to be careful back there. I believe that's around that 18 machine there. Kerry Shaver also is there. Goes Sam Dyer up into 5th. This is going to get a little bit stacked up as the runs are formulating behind the 21 and the 8. Who is going to try to make it happen first? Is it the 82 of Larson, or is it the 42 of Sam Dyer?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Sam Dyer looking very, very feisty right now, putting that car in places that most people wouldn't. But, he was able to generate some momentum earlier, and I think he's looking to do that again. He's going to give himself a little bit of a gap to the 82 of Nick Larson right there, and here he is with the momentum, sucking up just a little bit, but in the corner kind of stalls out some. But here we go. That looks like the 8 of Cato had to check up a little bit for something, and Sam Dyer looking to try to make something happen. He's going to look to the outside, but unfortunately, he's not going to have anybody go with him up until right now. Looks like Greco gonna go up there and push him, but I think that all of that momentum has been long lost by the time he catches him.
Yeah, and Sam Dyer up top now gonna have to drop back inside to the inside line, try to make something happen. But they're gonna be coming to 9 to go. Rob Lowell out front trying to hold on to this. Cato looking for his first win of the season. Same for Johnny Barker. Same for Nick Larson. Really, everybody in position right now looking for that first career win.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, well, pretty much everybody in the field right now. Anybody would love to win this race. Just because it's a super speedway race doesn't mean, that it's any less of a win. A win is a win. And, right now, it's like we said all race long, anybody in the field right now could win. And for a lot of these guys, it would be their first win. And, looking back to how the race had been for 33, Mr. Eric right there. He spent the majority of the race 2 laps down, so for him to be in 5th place right now, and he's got he's just within earshot of the lead right now. That would be pretty incredible if he were to be able to come back and win this. As he had to check up a little bit. Sam Dyer got hard into the back of him, but it was just a pretty hard push by him. But these guys, it looks like they're doing a little bit of experimentation, trying to figure out if there's anything that they can do out there to try to get to the front. But unfortunately, right now, it doesn't look like there's much. I mean, you got Art Greco. He's managed to generate a little bit of momentum for himself, but as soon as he goes to the outside, it just immediately dies off.
Yeah, and you had Larson looking to stick out there and trying to make something happen, but he ducks back in the line. Now Sam Dyer does. It's going to leave Greco out to dry, and with 8 to go, coming to 7. This is a continuous effect that, like you said, Brian, we continue to see happening. And unfortunately, I don't think. Oh no! Is the 82 gets to the back of the 6? That stacks up to 33. Gets a little bit of help from the 42. They're stacking up, and it's going to be a big wreck there to start finish line.
Yeah, 33, Mr. Eric right there. He got sent into the grass, and he did such a great job of trying to keep it straight in the grass, but unfortunately that grass just a little too slick. Maybe the fog had a little bit to do with that, but came back up across the track and collected a couple other guys involved with that.
Yeah, and that was a mega hit there, as that number 99 just took a giant hit there for Barefoot, and also that 18 carry Shaver, man, just a giant wreck. And just 9 cautions of carnage here right now is we're gonna be the 21 still out front with 7 here to go.
Yeah, and Rob Lowell didn't do anything wrong right there. He did pretty much everything right, although there wasn't many attacks for the lead coming after him. It's like we were saying right before that caution. um, that there's just not a lot that you can do, not a lot of moves and opportunities to take when there's so few cars out here, and you need a good amount of cars to make 2 or 3 lanes work. So I think when coming to the end of this race, kind of the deciding factor as to whether Rob or somebody else wins this race is, what does Gene Cato do? The guy behind Rob Lowell. Once he decides to make a move for the lead, that's when things are going to start shaking up, because he's the one that's pushing the leader. So as soon as he comes out from behind the leader, that's going to allow Rob to kind of be at risk for the whole field. So I think from this point on, as long as Gene Cato decides to stay behind Rob Lowell, there's not going to be much that anybody else can do.
Yeah, I agree there, Brian, because I mean, you got to put yourself in his shoes. I mean, you've been in this situation before as a teammate with some drivers. How do you, how do you take this situation where you're behind them? Because you want to help them, but you also got to do what you need to do for yourself. So it's always one of those situations where I think a lot of drivers get torn in this situation of figuring out what they need to do. And Cato, I think, is in that spot of saying, well, my teammate Lowell has had a shot, and has got to win this season. I haven't got that. Maybe this is my shot here.
Yeah, well, every teammate relationship is different. Um, but you're right, Zach. Rob Lowe has a win. Gene Cato, as far as I know, I don't believe he does. So I think he's definitely going to make a move and try to get a win for himself, rather than have his teammate have two and him have zero. Um, but I don't think he's gonna be doing that anytime before the backstretch on the final lap. So, um, I think Gene Cato, he's looking pretty smart right here. He's looks like he's done a little bit of super speedway racing, and he knows exactly what he's got to do, what's going to be his best shot at it. So, um, I think up until the white flag comes out, things may look a little bit calm at the front of the pack, but I think as soon as that white flag comes out, that's when the chaos is gonna start coming out.
That it will, man. Chaos. I mean, it's been here a few times tonight with some of these wrecks. My question to me is: has anybody not used the fast repair or got an incident tonight? If you haven't, that'd be very, very interesting to say the least. So I'll tell you, it's one of those things where it's been carnage tonight, and that's you kind of brought it up. When you don't have the fast repair limit, there's no limit. Some drivers, tend to abuse that a little bit and, take it to the next level and say, there's really no risks for it. So I just, it's one of those things where it's good to have. So, you make sure you have the cars out there running, but at the same time, sometimes drivers can take it a little bit too far.
Yeah, and I don't think we've seen too much of that here tonight, but I definitely think that we've seen some three wide moves, some blocking moves that in the event that we didn't have unlimited fast repairs that maybe we wouldn't have seen. Um, but that's one of the things where it's whatever the rule set is at a race, you're gonna do anything you can to give yourself the best shot at winning the race. So, it's all about that rule set. Same thing with real life NASCAR. There's a reason why that rule book is as thick as it is because all those teams are going to be trying to find any loophole, any gray area where they can attempt to find one or two extra pounds of downforce on the front end. So. It's all about that rule set and what you do within that box that you are given. So, I think everybody here tonight's done a pretty good job with what they've been given, and now that we're one to go, looks like we're just gonna be just outside of that green white checkered area, so still within that regularly scheduled distance. Um, so we're going to be going green with looks like to be about 3 to go. So race winding down, and 3 wide, 4 wide definitely hasn't ended here yet.
Yeah, this is gonna come down to some interesting stuff, I think, here. 4 laps to go. I mean, the biggest thing I look at is, you got Cato up top now. He's going to be a little bit separated here with Larson starting in that bottom lane. And, how fast will Cato look to jump down there? Will they try to time this restart like that? It's going to be the questions to see because, before they had that 6 of Barker there also to help out. But he's going to be a little bit behind here in position. But with 6 cars on this lead lap, it's those 6 drivers' chance here to get themselves a win. And what a way to do it here in the carnage of Talladega.
Yeah, I mean, when you're one of the 6 drivers on the lead lap, coming to 3 to go at a race at Talladega, your odds of winning are very, very high compared to any other race this season. So, yeah, going to be pretty interesting. Especially for guys like Sam Dyer. You got to remember he did not start this season at the beginning. He came in. This is only his 3rd or 4th race. So, if he could somehow win this race, that'd be pretty cool for him.
That it would be a pretty cool situation for him to be able to play out here with. But pace car pulls in. It's Rob Lowe with control of the field as he takes off and away. We'll see Cato get himself down in the 8. The 21 pulls high. Oh no, the 8. I don't know. What just happened there with him?
I think that was a case of maybe he's using a H pattern shifter, and instead of third gear, maybe it went into reverse for some reason. I don't know, but he just it's like right at that point where he would shift, just car immediately stopped and spun out. So either accidentally threw it into reverse, or that engine may have blown, and instead of going into third, maybe it went into first. So either way, now that your odds of 1 in 6 of winning have now gone to 1 in 5.
That they have, and now Larson going to be in position here in second. Sam Dyer jumps up. Johnny Barker in the 6 takes the spot. Now Barefoot comes through in the 99. Also the 88 at Greco. So that drops Dyer back to 5th here. But coming to 2 to go. Only a 6-car field up front here, and one of the cars is a lap down, and Jeff Barefoot 2 laps down. But it's 2 to go here, Brian. Lowell going to have to try to fight these guys off. It's probably going to come from Larson first, but does Barker stick with Lowell when Larson goes high? That's going to be the question. But here comes Greco. Here comes Dyer. They're going to be trying to set something up off of 2, but Barefoot back here definitely holding those 2 back.
Yeah, the Sam Dyer and Greco right there looking to try to push each other and get some momentum, but it just cannot happen. And these guys looks like they're having a really tough time of trying to stay connected to each other. Now Sam Dyer going to be looking to try to push Jeff Barefoot instead, but unfortunately, just for these 3 guys kind of stuck back here as Barefoot going to go down below the yellow line right there. But these front 3 guys right now, Baker, Larson, and Lowell, coming to take the white flag here.
There it is. That's the freaky fast white flag here. 1 lap to go here at the 802 Cup Series. It's Rob Lowell out front in the 21 machine. The 82 of Nick Larson behind. The 6 of Barker. Sam Dyer in the 42 getting a big run down the backstretch. Here comes the 42. They're wrecking. The 42 goes around to the lead. Sam Dyer out front. Nick Larson touches the 6 of Barker. He goes down. Sam Dyer, giant lead for him. And I tell you what, I don't think the run is coming from behind. He may have this in the bag, Brian, here, is they're going to be stacking up behind him, but he's got to watch out. They may stack up now and try to get the run. It's going to be coming from behind. Can Sam Dyer hold on? Here comes the 6 of Barker, the 99 of Barefoot. Sam Dyer's going to have to cover off with a block, but not going to be able to get there. Goes up, touches doors with the 6. The run coming for the 99. He wrecks the 42. The 88 of Greco goes across the line, and Barker and the 6 and the 42 cross the line backwards as they get wrecked by a lap car.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've never seen so many cars spin out on the last lap of a Talladega race. I mean, Art Greco was in the worst position coming to the white flag, but just due to all of this contact, all these cars spinning, he comes away with the win.
That he does. Barker coming home 2nd, and Dyer home 3rd. What a crazy finish there. As I believe Greco, our 88, has already pulled it in. He didn't even do no burnouts. He pulled it straight in. So we're going to go to our break here, folks, while we try to find our top 3 drivers and have a chat with them. We'll be back here in the next few moments. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back, folks, after this wild finish, and turns out we might not know exactly what the results are, as Art Greco turns out to maybe have had a black flag, so it looks like he did not win the race. Looks like Johnny Barker won it, crossing the line backwards. Sam Dyer in second, crossing the line backwards, and then Rob Lowell gonna bring it home in third. And we're believing that this is unofficial due to that spin there from the 8. We think that is probably why that yellow flag or that black flag was given to Greco. So we'll have to see what is the situation with that. But we're going to move on to our post-race interviews. As we're going to go with what iRacing has given us, and iRacing has given us Rob Lowe in the 3rd position. So we'll talk to Rob. Hey, Rob, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to figure out what went on there. So Gene Cato, I know, spun coming to the green, and it sounds like Art said he got a black flag from that. And the league policy is we don't clear blacks. I'm trying to figure out what happened to Nick. Because I don't think Nick got caught up when him and I got together. I don't know. I was shocked that I was 3rd, and Johnny was shocked he won it on our team radio. So I'm baffled. I think the admins are going to have to look at this and figure out what happened over the next couple days.
Yeah, definitely a lot to look at there, man. For sure. That's going to be a tough time going back and figure out how that all played out. But, great run. You were in that league coming up to the very end there, man. Unfortunately, didn't get that win, but we're heading off into Kansas next week with the season winding down. How you feel for points wise here tonight, getting a 3rd place finish?
Yeah, it's hard to be excited over this race. Honestly, it was a lousy showing for the league, and I'm down on that. But we'll take a 3rd place and go home. Get ready for next week at Kansas. We're gonna make some changes this week, open the league up to some new cars, and hopefully we'll have 2025 next week. I want to thank Johnny Barker and Jeff Barefoot and Gene Cato, my 3 teammates in Wolfpack Racing. We tried to work together throughout the race. Thank you guys. Just want to explain the haze/fog situation. So our league policy is we look at what the weather is for the day we race at the actual location we're racing, and we put those settings in. And we've never really had it where it's in the high 90s for humidity like it is today down in Talladega. So the temperature today was supposed to be 82 in Talladega, 95% humidity, and we got a hazy day. So now we know in the future we won't do that. I'm sure that wasn't great in the broadcast, and I apologize to you guys for that.
It was definitely interesting, man, but we got through it. I tell you what, Rob, and man, congrats on 3rd, and we'll catch you next week at Kansas, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Kansas. I've done some practicing there last week or so because honestly, you can't practice for Talladega. It's such a crapshoot. So the Wolfpack's been practicing for Kansas, and I feel like we got a really fast cars for there. We've really worked on our tire wear. We can run a full fuel run and be in the mid 80% on our right front tires, so for tire wear. So looking forward to Kansas big time. I think I'll be better there than I was at Atlanta. So hopefully I'll be talking to you guys next week from Victory Lane.
That would be awesome to see, Rob. Well, I tell you, man, congrats on 3rd, and we'll catch you next week at Kansas, man.
Thanks. Have a good night.
All right, everybody. That was your 3rd place driver there, Rob Lowe. They're getting everything figured out there. I think he'll bring it home in 3rd here unofficially, but we'll go ahead and move ourselves on to our 2nd place finisher, Sam Dyer, here in the 42. First top 3 finish of his career here at the O2 Cup Series. Hey, Sam, it's Zach up here in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
I got a copy, man. Wow.
Well, I tell you what, I didn't think you would probably be thinking you'd be finishing 2nd tonight, crossing the line backwards, huh?
Yeah, that's not the most usual way to cross the finish line. I thought maybe I had a shot for that win, but I think I was like on the back stretch. I was like, I've got a shot to win this, and then I realized through 3 and 4, oh, I've got a really good shot to lose this right now.
Yeah, that was definitely the big thing, man. Was that we saw the run you had coming out of 2. It was gigantic. They start wrecking. It probably take us through that, because you got to go through a range of emotions, like you say, because you got to think at one point, this is for sure mine. Nobody behind me is stacking up. Then you start to see them stack up. Are you kind of, in that situation, evaluating what move you are going to make there? Because we did see you make the contact there with the 6, and it looked like it was going to be pretty close there. Unfortunately, it looks like the 99 went around and got you there.
Yeah, Barefoot's already apologized, and it's completely okay. I mean, it's a racing deal. You've got drivers trying to help other drivers, and I recognize super speedways. I kind of lost all of my friends. I was working with Christopher Norris and Tyler Dangler, and the three of us, never even got lined up at all during this race because we were just so jumbled up. But I mean, it was myself against the world there at the end, so I recognized it, and it's okay.
Oh man, I tell you what, you did an excellent job to be able to bring it home backwards across the line here to bring home second at Talladega, man, heading off to Kansas next week. But before we let you get out here and get prepared for that, anybody want to send a shout out to, Sam?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Tyler Dangler, Christopher Norris, also the only top 15 team, as well as the admins here at the 802 Next Gen Cup Series. And of course, to you guys up at the booth, I know this was probably a long one and an interesting race, so thanks for giving us the coverage.
That it was, Sam. Well, I tell you, man, congrats, like I said, once again on second, and we'll catch you next week at Kansas, buddy.
See you guys.
All right, everybody. That was your second place driver there, Sam Dyer to 42. Great job by him to bring it home backwards across the line in second. But I get what? Even better than that, it's Johnny Barker who brings it across the line backwards in first. So let's hear what the sixth machine of Johnny Barker has to say, because it was an up and down night for him, involved in a couple incidents, but making it through to win this thing in the very end. Hey, Johnny, it's Zach up here in the booth. You got a copy, man.
I got you.
Well, Johnny, I tell you what, man, you definitely probably didn't have on your list tonight crossing the finish line backwards for first. Take us through the moments there, and especially realizing that the 88 had a penalty there.
Oh, that was a wild race. I had my teammate there, Jeff. I think he was a lap down, but I owe it to him for pushing me there at the end. Excuse me.
Yeah, it definitely was a good push there from your teammate, man. And, coming to the end there, I mean, what was the plan there with your teammate? Was it always to go to the outside or just make the move based off the driver ahead of you?
Yeah, I figured he was gonna stay low, and so I had it in my mind. I told Jeff we was gonna go high right there coming out the corner, so that was my plan the whole time.
Oh, man, that plan worked out pretty well here tonight. Pull off that victory here tonight at the 802 Cup Series. Congrats on that here winning at Talladega. And we're heading off to Kansas next week, so that's some good momentum for you heading off into there. But before we let you get out here and go celebrate this victory, anybody want to send a shout out to, Johnny?
Oh yeah, all my teammates, Rob, Jeff, Barefoot, Gene. We worked good all night, so I want to give them a big thanks.
Definitely some good teamwork between you guys, man. And congrats on that win, Johnny. And we'll catch you next time out there at Kansas, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, everybody. That was your race winner here tonight, Johnny Barker in the 6th seed, crossing the line backwards, guys. And I tell you, that was a interesting race, and we're not going to have no results for you because guess what? Those results are all jumbled up, and we don't really know where they're at. So guess what? None of those. You just know that Johnny Barker won tonight's race, Sam Dyer second, and Rob Lowell third. But man, oh man, definitely Talladega in the definition, Brian, I would say, is as a race, because this place always, you never know what you're going to get when it comes to Talladega, and definitely a wild one here under the fog.
Well, it's like they said that don't really talk a whole lot about it anymore. But supposedly the rumor is, as the legend goes, is the racetrack of Talladega is built on a old Native American burial ground. So maybe that has a little bit to do with the little bit of craziness that always happens at Talladega. But yeah, that last lap was definitely one of the most craziest last laps at Talladega I've ever seen. So. It's just goes to show that every week at 802, you never know what you're going to get, whether it's the start of a race or strategy, whether it's tires or fuel or even the last lap in the finishes. So definitely always keeps you on the edge of your seat, and we'll see what happens next week at Kansas.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to see for sure. Kansas is going to be a fun one, no doubt. But again, thank you all for tuning in here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's been a pleasure to call tonight's action here on Sunday. But if you haven't yet checked us out, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that bell button to be notified each and every time we go live, and that'll let you get into the rest of our leagues here we got throughout the rest of the week. We got 5 other great leagues here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and tomorrow night we kick that off with the ISRC Trucks Series on a Monday night. It's always A lot of exciting stuff over there. Full Sin Racing there on Tuesday nights. Wednesday nights we got the Wicked Racing League. Thursday nights we got Stars and Stripes, and then kicking it or ending all their week off on Saturdays. It's the World Series of Sim Racing. So make sure you stay subscribed, stay tuned in, because we got a lot of action coming to you here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you all for tuning in here tonight, and as I always say, stay freaky fast.